into any market anywhere in Ethiopia today, and it's pretty certain that you will find frankincense like this. Along with myrrh, gold and ivory, these were the precious exports that helped cement the rise of the Kingdom of Aksum.
The evidence of international trade is clear, for example, from these museum objects. Goods from India and the Mediterranean made their way to the Kingdom of Aksum.
Very beautiful, decorated, I suppose they're wine glasses.
Yes. So this is already 4th century goblet glasses, and the glasses already probably imported, especially from Roman Empire, and maybe also made in Aksum.
And I spot some rather interesting-looking human-headed jars also from Aksum.
Pottery product was already very famous in Aksumite time, so this was a jar especially to offer traditional drink for the elites. And from this pottery, we can understand especially the hairdoing style of Aksumite women. If you look this one.
Their hairstyle, it was kind of flicked up.
Yeah, yeah.
A bit like mine.
No. No, I will tell you about that culture already. Still, our mothers, they do that one, their hair.
Do you do it sometimes?
Yeah, especially in the holiday, yeah, yeah.
It looks very attractive. I might try it myself.
Trade is still in the blood of many who live in the highlands of Ethiopia today. Futsum Barzan is a snazzily dressed middle-aged man with skill and charm in equal measure. He sells traditional artifacts and handicrafts to Ethiopians as well as any passing visitor at his shop in the center of Aksum city. Futsum decides to call it a day. After a short walk, Futsum is home and is greeted by his wife, daughters and in-laws, plus a friend who's dropped by. First, Futsum checks one of his daughter's homework.
Hello. Hello, Futsu. Thank you very much indeed. Please don't stand. Hello. Oh, wow. Hello. Hi. Very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. Oh, your wife. Hello. Very nice to meet you. Hello. Very nice to meet you. You are from one of the old families here in Aksum?
Yes, sir. Yes, you are right. My father is a priest.
Your father?
I can show you the photo.
Yes, your father is a priest.
Yes, father.
And your wife too, and also Salama, your family is from Aksum, and it has so yes, for generations.
Yes, Aksum.
Oh, this is your father. Priest.
Futsum's family embodies the twin ancient traditions of Aksum, religion and trade.
So your grandfather was also a priest. I see, and you have a marvelous cross that you're wearing here. So you sell these crosses in your shop?
Another.
A different one. This is a special one.
I have 5, 6 kinds.
Beautiful, isn't it? And I noticed that your relative here and your relative there have got amazing hairstyles. This is the traditional hairstyle of the women of Aksum. I like your hairstyle.
It's finished.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist saying that. I like his hair.
Ethiopians, like so many Africans, are renowned for their hospitality, and I'm treated to a traditional meal. Well, no meal is complete without the staple flat sour pancake called injera. It's produced from flour made from a grain called teff, which has been grown here for centuries.
Oh, you have to kiss the injera. Yeah. It's like thanking God for food.
It's eaten with a spiced sauce, which usually includes meat, and is washed down with beer. You feed your wife. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Giving somebody a mouthful of food by hand is a sign of love in Ethiopia. Very nice. Your wife made this, yes? Very nice. Delicious. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. So drink coffee.
Oh, coffee. Very important for families, yes?
Especially in Aksum, 3 times. Morning, afternoon,
After 10 o'clock. Coffee is not just a drink here, it's a ritual. The red berries that give us coffee beans grow wild in Ethiopia, and coffee has been drunk here for many centuries. Today, the berries are cultivated and coffee is a major industry. The beans are roasted over hot coals, then carried around the room for everyone to savor the scent. Afterwards, they're ground with a mortar and pestle. The coffee is brewed in a clay pot called a jabana, which keeps it warm. The small china cups make the drinking of coffee altogether a rather delicate affair. It's very nice, really, really nice. Futsum had enjoyed a good week in his shop, and no doubt this, along with a bit of encouragement from the honey wine and beer, has put them in a very merry mood. Traders like Futsum would have used currency hundreds of years ago in Aksum. In fact, Aksum was one of the earliest states in Africa to mint its own gold, silver and copper coins. King Endibis was the first to introduce coins in the second half of the 3rd century AD. And some of our information about the kings of Aksum comes from these coins. One of the best known and most powerful of the kings was Ezana, seen here on this coin. He ruled in the 4th century.
King Ezana claimed the title of King of Kings for the first time. When we say King of Kings, it is clear indication that there had several kings under him. Because of the trade interruption in the Sudan, he campaigned as far as Norway to punish the people who interrupted the trade, and he was successful in destroying the town of Norway. That also indicates his greatness, that he had influence over the Sudan, over the South Arabian kingdoms, and of the Horn of Africa. Besides, the very fact that he controlled the 2 sides of the Red Sea, that makes him great king.
And what do we know about him as a person?
King Ezana was a despotic ruler because he punished any rebel in the Horn of Africa. Whenever there was rebellion, no matter for what reason, Ezana had to campaign against them in order to punish them. Again, when he was a pagan, he sacrificed human beings, about 50 human beings, to satisfy his god.
Human sacrifices notwithstanding, it seems King Ezana had a dramatic change of heart. Towards the end of his reign, around 350 AD, Ezana adopted Christianity, as documented in the Ezana stone. It was Ezana who made Christianity the official religion of Aksum.
After Ezana became a Christian, there are indications of behavioral change. The rebels might have continued after that. He went on campaign to punish the people, but he did not seem to have been harsh as he was before to kill people, because he did whatever he had done in the name of God. says, I believe in my God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. I believe in Jesus Christ. This clearly indicates that his behavior was according a Christian person or individual.
So was he a reformed character when he became a Christian?
Indeed.
He stopped sacrificing people?
It seems never mention of sacrifice.
Stopped being a despot?
No. Go ahead.
When Ezana died, this stela, now supported with a bit of help from modern technology, was erected in his memory. The distinctive monumental feature of these narrow stelae was how the rulers marked their tombs. They were built from solid stone and are believed to date from around 300 AD. Christianity spread in Aksum because it was followed by the elite. Ezana's official adoption of the religion was consolidated by the work of monks known as the Nine Saints, who still have an important place in Ethiopian Christianity today. The Nine Saints came from different parts of the Byzantine Empire, which grew out of the remains of the Roman Empire around the eastern end of the Mediterranean. The Emperor Constantine made Byzantium in modern-day Turkey his capital in the early 4th century AD. From there, he ruled over territory covering a wide expanse of Europe and Asia. The Byzantines didn't seek to defeat Aksum and were indeed on friendly terms with it. So the 9 Byzantine priests arrived safely in Aksum to spread the Christian faith. These are the ruins of a church dating back to the 5th century, which have been found in Adulis in Eritrea. It's from the Byzantine era and measures about 18 by 10 square meters. We know it's a church because crosses have been found here. Once they arrived on the coast, the 9 saints went further inland through the highlands to preach the gospel. This site, east of Aksum, where this modern church stands today, is the exact location where a church was established by one of the 9 saints. The 9 saints are some of the most iconic figures in the history of the Orthodox Church in Ethiopia, and there is still a strong cult of worship around them today. The priest at the church shows me one of the oldest Bibles in Ethiopia written in Ge'ez. It's at least 1,000 years old. We can't bring the TV camera inside because it has to be kept in the dark. Aksum is the spiritual home of Ethiopian Orthodox Christianity, even if the patriarch of the Orthodox Church lives in his magnificent official residence in the capital, Addis Ababa. What was the significance of the 9 saints? Because, for example, they introduced the tradition of monasticism to Ethiopia. If you could explain to us their significance, please.
Well, they were monks, so they were teaching, they were writing books and translating from other languages, from Arabic, and also opening the monastic life for Ethiopia.
The tradition of monasteries and nunneries has really persisted greatly to this day. There are many monks and nuns in the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Why it is something which has become so embedded in your practice?
Yeah, the monastic life, male and female monks are very important for religious purposes. So they teach, they kept their responsibility just for the church, not for other things.
Also, in all pictures of Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary, Jesus Christ is always depicted as brown-skinned with soft African hair, really, because that's very different from how he is depicted in European paintings.
Well, you know, of course, some people do the Ethiopian face. They make the picture like their own people. For example, in the Caribbean islands make like their own face, dark color. But we believe that Jesus Christ is born from Jews, these white people. It's not important to change the face, the whiteness. So.
But you're surrounded by paintings of both Jesus Christ and the Virgin Mary looking like Ethiopians, brown with a soft afro.
They do people, but Saint Mary also is Israelite, so it's not very important to change the face of our Lord Jesus Christ and Saint Mary, because they are Jews. They are Jewish.
Patriarch Abuna Matthias presides over key services like this one at the Ethiopian Orthodox Christmas at the Holy Trinity Church in Addis Ababa. The most holy item in every Ethiopian Orthodox church is the tabot, a supposed replica of the Ark of the Covenant. It's covered at all times by a draped sheet. With Christianity as its official religion and its ordered hierarchical civil structure, Aksum enjoyed a long period of prosperity and prestige. It had also become a strong military power in the region. The army protected the empire's trade interests and upheld its reputation as a powerful Christian kingdom. Around 520 AD, disturbed by clashes between Christians and Jews in South Arabia, King Caleb of Aksum sent an army across the waters of the Red Sea to South Arabia and defeated the Jews there. According to the Kebre Nagast, after defeating the Jews of Arabia, King Caleb returned to Aksum, gave up his throne, and spent his life in a monastery. However, another account states that he reigned in Aksum for a further 17 years. The Kingdom of Aksum must stand not only as one of the greatest civilizations of Africa, but also of the ancient world. Hundreds of years before Christ, various settlements in what is today Ethiopia and Eritrea were established. Advanced societies that laid the foundations for a great military and religious power. Civilizations which used a written language and coinage, where fine buildings and monuments were erected, where sophisticated goods were made and traded, a unique African civilization. As we've seen, the official adoption of Christianity by Aksum's kings and the urban elite meant that at times there were tensions between them and the Jews of Arabia. Later, the Aksumites would have to deal with the emergence of another religion, Islam. In the next program, we'll see how the Christians, Jews, and Muslims in this part of Africa coexisted, and how in time Aksum's decline gave rise to new Christian and Islamic kingdoms.
The abolition of slavery in Britain and the extraordinary decision by the government of the day to compensate slave owners richly for their loss of property. Don't miss the start of a new two-part series, Forgotten Slave Owners, next week here on BBC World News.